How am I always fucking doing? How do I not know how to put on headphones? I'm a fucking simpleton, Bundy, is what it is.
There, turn it around.
There
Turn
we
it
go.
around.
There we go. I'll figure this out. All right, we ready for this one?
What would you do if you had $1 million?
I'll tell you what I'd do, man. Two chicks at the same time, man.
This just a real nigga shit, your real nigga story, you know what I'm saying?
This beat is so rich.
All right, episode 14, Bundy?
14.
Bundy keeps track of this stuff. I got to watch them before I start saying the same shit over and over again. Interesting week. We'll get into it with John Wick, a.k.a. Jason Bourne, a.k.a. Sean Hicks. Yes. The Boston hitman nobody's ever heard of. We should make a movie about him. Well, he probably already is. Bill Belichick, big news, leaving the Patriots. Tough. It's just tough because it's just so final, right? Dave Portnoy had a good quote. He said, "Don't be sad, it's over," you know, something to the effect of, "Be happy that you were here to witness it," you know, and man, what a run, you know, what a run, you know, seeing the Super Bowls. I went down to a couple of them. I was at the last one in Atlanta. I was at some AFC championship games, you know, a bunch of big games. And, you know, I was in jail for 2 Super Bowls. I was in prison for one, in jail for the other. People that don't know the difference, one's state prison, one's county jail. I was in county jail in Billerica for the first one against the Rams. I was in person at the last one against the Rams in Atlanta. I was in Old Colony Prison in Bridgewater for the one against the Eagles, was it? Yeah. I don't know, man. Just so many fucking memories, right? And you know, every time we'd go to a game, they'd win. It was just so awesome. What an unbelievable, just so fortunate to have those guys, you know. I mean, after Belichick left, it's like, after Brady left, it was like, well, Brady was everything because Belichick just started losing, and that kind of sucked. I think that tarnished his legacy to a certain extent, you know. But he was just so cool, just loved him, you know, just loved his style, you know. And it sucks. It sucks to be at the fucking bottom of the barrel again, you know. But I grew up with that, you know, way back. Steve Grogan, the old Foxborough Stadium. But it just sucks, you know. It sucks. Gerard Mayo, we get a good 3rd overall pick, I believe, next year. So hopefully, you know, the rebuilding process, maybe we get to see another one in our lifetime, Bundy. Who knows?
Yeah,
you know,
hopefully.
Yeah. What else we got going on? We got Paulie Black is back. He's back at the sober house, and
he's doing good.
He is doing good. People know they found him overdosed, and he was in ICU for a few days, and he was just in the hospital for a week. He has a lot of health issues, man. He's got blood clots in his heart. He's got to take this medication, or he can have a stroke. So he's really on his last leg. I mean, if he goes out there and chooses to use drugs again, yeah, I don't think he's gonna.
It's over.
Yeah, I
don't think he's gonna.
No. You know, I hope not, but you know, I mean, if you know, I'm sure people said the same thing about me, right? Oh yeah, he'll be getting high again. Because that's all I did, you know. So I mean, I hope not, right?
Yep.
An old friend, Dave Souza, talking about his brother Tony Souza. He used to say, you know, as long as he's breathing, he has a chance. And then Tony died. I found him dead, and then Dave died of an overdose. So it just goes to show you, you know, the drugs out there will fucking kill you. You know, the drugs will kill you.
The drugs
Belichick. This is a special Patriots edition, right? Fuck.
Yeah.
There you go. Put that there for now. Can't even see it. That's fucking. I'm just gonna hold it up like this. All right. So Sean Hicks, this guy I had to expose on the last podcast because he was just popping up everywhere on my phone, going viral. And like I said in the last thing, which I found out that's exactly what the case is, I'm like, well, if he's making money off it, I get it. He's been a liar his whole life, apparently. But hey, he parlayed it into he got a book. And who knows? Maybe he'll try to parlay it into a movie deal. I mean, who knows, right? The guy's a con man. And hey, you making money, whatever. But I just couldn't sit there and listen to, and everybody I know that I've been in prison with and everybody I know. And he's naming people that, someone I know personally, and nobody knows them. He claims so many wild, grandiose stories, being Howie Winter's nephew and knowing Patney and Whitey, and none of these people, like Pat don't know him. This one, Howie Winter didn't know him. We talked to someone with his wife who's good friends with Howie. He's been claiming to be a suspect in the Isabella Gardner Museum art heist. I talked to a retired state police investigator who got my phone number and called me up. And he's like, first off, I'm a big fan of your page. Second, thank you. He goes, because this guy's been a thorn in our side for years, because he's been claiming to be, part of this, and he does these interviews, and he's like, the crazy thing is he had nothing to do with it, doesn't know anybody involved. He's been telling these wild stories for years, and what the guy said to me is, I'll tell you this about this guy Hicks. He's a fearless liar. He'll just tell the craziest stories, and look where it's got him. He's like, people write newspaper articles, and the article starts off, Howie Winter's nephew. It's basically, he's told this lie so much, it has become true. Same with the Paul Pierce stabbing. It was William Ragland and the other kid. These were I think they were Castlegate, the gang members, Roxbury kids, serious kids. And trust me, they weren't hanging around with Sean, the hillbilly hit. He's some rapper. He's a rapper. It's crazy. It's crazy, these lies he tells. And and that's the thing that's infuriating. Like the cop said to me, he goes, nobody has done a background check on this guy or looked into him before they did these stories. He said, except one person, Shelley Murphy from the Boston Globe. Now, big props to Shelley Murphy. I mean, I'm not a Globe guy.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Boston Herald guy myself. But I guess he was, he's a con man. He's got publicists and he's going to people and he's getting his name out there. And he probably loved it that I did this because, like they say, no publicity is bad publicity. This guy got a book out and here I am, you know what I mean? Talking about him. And he's probably, he's laughing all the way to the bank, right? Saying, yeah, keep fucking talking shit about me, right? I mean, but I had to. I mean, it's got to stop somewhere. You know what I mean? People have to know that this guy, it blows my mind to think people, they're not from around this area, just listen to this stuff and can even believe a second of it's true.
I know.
These fucking stories, huh?
Yep. How about the guy who interviewed him?
Yeah. What do we got?
You talk to him for 2 seconds, you realize he's a fucking complete fucking moron.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go, Bundy.
All right.
There might be some truth to this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard this, but
There's actually a thing they have when you go into prison about teardrops, about all your tattoos. They say that.
Yes.
This is just them, not me. They say that if you have a red teardrop,
Red Bundy.
each one represents 5 murders.
I was just looking to see if you've got any red ones.
I have 3.
I got 3 of them, huh?
Hold on. Bundy, I'm just looking to see if you have any red ones.
I got 3.
Yeah. I have 12. So this guy, he's got 15 bodies.
Yep.
He's only done about fucking 6 years in prison. There's another interview where he's like, 23 years, 4 months, 24 years, 8 months, 13 days, and ask him how much time he did. Like I said, the kid Jake pulled out a deposition. He's got 2 state bids, one for 2 years, one for 3 years. And the rest were like 90-day skid bids and dead him. People commenting on my Instagram that He was in PC and Dedham. I mean, this stuff, it's par for the course, right? This guy is just, it's got to stop. Someone has to stop him.
Yep.
Did we do the Sean Hicks Wicks? Did we do that?
No.
Did we do that?
No.
Should we delve into how they molded him to be this perfect killer? Oh, he was on Turtle Boy. Did I tell you about that?
No, Turtle Boy didn't chew him out?
Oh, yeah. Worcester rapper who stabbed Paul Pierce. That's how the article starts out. Again, articles start out with lies he had. Who stabbed Paul Pierce and spent most of his life in jail, says his pit bull was stolen, thrown from truck, and killed. Oh, it's crazy. Like, look at this picture. This was in the fucking Patriot Ledger. Oh, come on. Don't pop up and say you got to pay now. We need this picture on. Now, does this look, can you zoom in on this? Does this look like a fucking hitman for fucking the Irish mob? Oh, his rap name is Ghost. Don't be spooked. Ghost seeks peace. I'll tell you what, this, like I said, right? He gets in the fucking papers and whatever. This one.
My father, who raised me, had tears in his eyes.
Oh, Bundy.
What did they say?
What did they say?
They told him he's coming with us. Simple as that. He's coming with us. Now he needs to know who he is.
He's a killer.
And it started at 15. I would go to upstate New England, Maine, Vermont. It started with pistols. It started with rifles, learning how to shoot with ex-military guys. And then from there, it was back down to Boston. A lot of Krav Maga stuff. And basically, when I got older, I figured I was like, these guys just molded me like a potter does clay to become this perfect weapon. Like, I don't know.
This is...
It just gets worse.
Yeah, they took me from Whitey and Pat and Uncle Stevie, and they all
trained him into the killing machine that he is.
They went to my dad and said, he's coming with us. And they took me to upstate New England, which I've never heard the term.
No.
You ever heard upstate New England, Justin?
No.
Never, right? In your life, right?
No.
Fucking me.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. Upstate New England. They took me to upstate New England. At first, it started with pistols. Then they took me back. Before, he says he was 13. He had his own crew stealing cars and working for Whitey, right? Now, there's so many contradictions. You could go through all his shit. Now, it started when he was 15. They took him from his father, and his father cried as he drove away with Whitey and Stevie
and they
and
trained him.
Johnny and Pat and Kevin. Yeah, and the rifleman. And he was just crying on the front porch as they took his boy away to make the perfect assassin.
Yeah.
Just so crazy, and a lot of Krav Maga stuff. No, I'm not up to date on this. I'm sorry. You guys are going to crucify me. Justin, do you know what this is?
Started like Krav Maga, like the martial arts.
See, yeah, so he's probably saying it wrong. Krav Maga.
Yeah.
Yes. Krav Maga. I thought he was talking about Trump. I'm like, wait a minute. He was 15. He was doing Krav Maga stuff. I'm like, so it's Krav. How is it again? How you say?
Krav Maga.
Maga. It's like a jujitsu?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Well, not only can he shoot the old pistola, Bundy,
Yeah.
but he is
dangerous.
He's apparently some type of fucking... Whitey trained him to be a jujitsu master also, apparently. So, yeah, I got another clip here, Mr. Hicks. It finally got to him. Everybody was obviously sending him my clips.
Yeah.
And he come out and posted some video. And it's funny. Did you see the video he posted, Justin?
Bundy was telling me about it. He said, Tim is gonna do
No, not the tips. We'll get into that in a minute. But no, he posted like a retaliation thing with me on his couch at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And said, Beanshooter's Cum Guzzler podcast. You know, that's what I expect out of someone like him. Just come back, not like address any issues about him lying. Like if it was me, I'd say, I'll go on your podcast. I'll do it now. I'll get my criminal record. Come on here. You can go on. Bundy will get his.
Yeah.
And we'll do this. Like, it don't take long to get our criminal records. You know, you're right into the Corey thing, and you get it in about a week or two. I mean, I could probably find one. Actually, if I looked, I might have a copy of my record. A few of them. Yeah. But it ain't too hard. I could, like, if I was him, you know, I'd say, hey, listen, you know, I did this, this, and this, and this is who I am. And you're saying, you know, but I would never just call somebody out. Even if it was like somebody from around there who knew some people and I knew they were bullshit and exaggerating, I'd say, fucking, he's a clown. That's bullshit. He wasn't running for Whitey, but yeah, he's from Southie. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, he was in Walpole and, you know, and this and that. But this guy, it's just so far-fetched. He's not from South Boston, and he obviously lived somewhere else for a long time. And hey, he said, hey, fuck it. I lived, you know, in Weymouth for a year when I was 12, and I'm going to create this whole, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his thing is, but like I said, in one ways, you gotta, begrudgingly, you gotta give him a little bit of credit because he's turned it into a payday. You know what I mean? And that's all you're gonna get out of me for him. Any type of, any positive comment about him. That's it. It ends there because I understand people are trying to, hustle and make money, and he's a complete fraud, and it's gotta fucking stop somewhere. Like. Yeah, we can't let this keep going.
No.
And, all right, hold on, Justin. Let's see what this other one is.
And now he works with the prison system and stuff like that. And he's like, man, they molded the real life John Wick. It was crazy.
Who took you away? Who was that?
My uncle. Howie went there. Howie went there. James Whitey Bulger, Stevie Fleming. They were all uncles. Uh-huh. I just call it, but everybody was Uncle Jim, Uncle Stevie, Uncle Kevin, Uncle Johnny. Everybody was an uncle.
And you didn't know that life until that.
Everyone was an uncle, Bundy.
Yeah.
What the fuck? They molded the real life John Wick.
That's crazy.
He's a fearless liar.
Yep.
That's what they call it. That's a great one, right? I've never heard that one. You? He's just a fearless liar. He will just tell the craziest.
and go with it.
Yeah. And hey, look, yeah, where it got him.
You give him a lie detector, he'll probably pass it.
Yeah. So he put a thing on his Instagram, and he says, Beanshooter, something about fucking, I don't know. I got no followers. He has 1,000 followers. I got 108,000. 108,000 followers. Yeah. We 1,000 followers, and what he said before. And if you look, it gets like, I don't know what it is. You can look. It gets like 12 likes, and there's like fucking 20, 30 comments, and they're all pro Beanshooter, like you're a phony, go on his podcast. So he doesn't reply to anything, any of the comments. I don't know how he even leaves it up there because it looks terrible on his behalf on his page. But 2 days ago, a kid, is it Bartolo? I don't know the kid's name. Kid followed me. I just followed him back. He somehow got him on a live with Billy Tibbetts. Tibbetts, former professional hockey player from Scituate, Mass. I think this kid said he lived in Scituate for a little bit. Me and Billy had a falling out a couple of months ago. We were pretty close friends. I drove him down to Florida. He moved down to Florida a little while ago, and we had a falling out, and he got mad and whatever. It is what it is. And somehow he got wind of what was going on. And I think originally he put something on his page where he thought like this guy was legit, and he was saying some stuff like I wasted an hour on a podcast calling this guy out, and I think Billy thought he was in Plymouth with him, so he was at the beginning. I think he was kind of like going to bat for this guy, and somehow this kid, Chris, I'll get his name. I think it's Bartolo something. He got Billy Tibbetts on a live, and he got this guy Sean Hicks to go on. I don't know how he did. And the first thing he said was, will you go on Beanshooter's podcast? Yeah, you got to talk to my agent if I get paid, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he'll never come on here because Bundy would probably just fucking hammer him in the face the second he sat down, and the podcast would be over.
He definitely was.
And he'd be on his way back to PC. But he got him on the live podcast, and Billy, after talking to him for probably fucking 30 seconds, realized this guy was absolutely full of shit. And Tibbs kicked it into high gear, like, name one person in South Boston that can vouch for you, and don't say fucking Whitey Bulger. And he's on his couch in his house, and he can't say one name. And he stumbles and he says, Eddie Tuffo. I knew right away who he was talking. Do you know Eddie Tuffo?
Yeah. No.
Eddie Tuffo, good kid. Savin Hill, Dorchester, not from South Boston. Eddie Tuffo's a good kid. I haven't seen him in a very, very long time. When he was a young kid, he got a case. They chased a kid down the train tracks. A bunch of him, like 3 or 4 kids, are beating him up. And the kid ran on the tracks and he stepped on the third rail and got fucking electrocuted and died. And that was long before this guy was in prison. This guy, Hicks. I don't know. Eddie's been around, maybe some halfway houses around Boston. So he must have ran into him somewhere, maybe in a program. I'm not sure. But Eddie, real good kid. I mean, he's well liked. And that's the only name he could even come up with.
Yeah.
Eddie Tuffo. I don't even know if he's still around. I mean, it's been a long time since I heard his name. And he's not from South Boston. So Tibbetts was really kicking it in a high gear. And then the guy said, well, I was in Old Colony in 2016. And Tibbetts says, no, you weren't, 'cause I was there. And he goes, oh, I think it was 18. Like, when you're fucking in prison, right? So the guy's backpedaling. And the only thing that sucked is the kid who was doing the Instagram Live had it all set up. And Tibbs just started going crazy because he knew the guy was bullshit. And of course, the guy just fucking X'd out of the video. They could have really, you know what I mean? Yeah. They could have really, gone at him, slow and hit him with some questions, because the guy, he can't answer anything because he's a fucking liar. And when you got somebody, who knows from the area, they just, they're going to pick you apart. But the guy, it didn't last long. One of the highlights of the video I liked was Tibbetts said, name one person, you were in with. And he goes, I was with Anthony Federico. So Tibbetts says, I never heard of him, reeling him in, like setting the bait. And the kid Hicks goes, are you from the streets? And there's a pretty notorious mobster from Boston who got out, like Tibbs said, in like 2005. And his name is Vinny the Animal Federico. So this guy calls him Anthony Federico, just name dropping again, just throwing out there. And so then he thought he tried to check Tibbetts and said, are you from the streets? And Tibbetts said, are you talking about Vinny Federico, who I used to walk the yard with, who got out into? So just again, you know what I mean? And shortly thereafter, Mr. Hicks had to go. He was off the live video, and then Tibbs yelled at the kid who was doing the live, said he didn't do a good job or something. But it was good. It was good entertainment. It was good that someone finally got him, which I'd love to fucking talk to this guy. You know what I mean? But I mean, we know now it's to this point, you know what I mean? Where we just know this guy's a complete bean shooter.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what bean shooter means. It's like Brooklyn slang. Staten Island, Brooklyn, bean shooter is just like a bullshitter. I mean, I was in rehab in 2013, and my friend Peter Sikoriak, P-Dub, one day said, hey, Mike, don't fuck with this guy. He's a fucking bean shooter, And I'm like, what? And ever since then, I started calling everybody a fucking bean shooter down in Florida, and then that's how I got that name. So that's what this guy is. Ironically enough, this guy is a fucking gigantic fucking bean shooter is what he is, And
Tibbetts got him now.
Yeah. Tibbs got him. And then I guess Tibbs said something today that was all right. He was like, I know Bundy. Bundy would run through a wall for bean shooter. So Tibbs is on the fence. He's still a little mad at me. It's all over this Pigeon. You know Pigeon, Justin?
Yeah.
Pigeon, Tibbs. Chip's not a big fan of fucking Mr. Pigeon. Tibbs fucking drew a line in the sand on that one, and I was in the middle of it, and he wasn't happy about it, but hopefully he gets over it. You know what I mean? But yeah, Mr. fucking Hicks. What else about this guy? Do we got anything else on him? The John Wick, the teardrops. You could go on and on. You could go on and on with this guy. about the fucking Isabella Museum thing. So he started with that story a while ago, and he'd been trying to pitch that script and sell it.
Really?
So he's a hustler. You know, he contacts people and produces and newspaper and gets people to write newspaper articles and pitches stories and, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as that goes, credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A couple books and, all right.
Yeah.
This is what happened.
Credit where credit is due, right? The guy's just a scammer, and he's getting some money out of it. Yeah, his cover's blown. We had to, and we dug up a bunch of articles. One, I saw one that said attempted murder. I said, holy shit, this guy has done something, because he's, you know, PC in 30 days and 20 days. And then I read it. It said he threatened his girlfriend with a knife and strangled her until she blacked out and went unconscious. So I'm like,
tough guy.
Yeah. Typical, you know, woman beater. You know, that's what we're dealing with here. And people are just writing articles without doing their due diligence and vetting them, right? There's no vetting process. I think it's like, especially now, people just want to get views and everything, and they see something and they'll jump on the bandwagon because they're just trying to get shit for themselves and they don't care. But there's got to be a point where someone says, "Hey, wait a minute. I mean, This guy's saying he killed 15 people, saying he's nailing people's hands to fucking tables and cutting off their fingers and." You know, I mean, like he said, what did you say? That was from The Accountant? They cut off the guy's fingers?
Yeah, that whole scene was from The Accountant. With Ben Affleck. Yeah.
What, he nails a guy's hand?
The mob grabbed some guy and they nailed him to the chair, cut his fingers off, used a blowtorch.
No. Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah. You hit it right on the head right there.
It's like this guy's brain put every mob book and movie together and just created this unbelievable story.
Yeah.
Like, imagine look at somebody in a podcast, right? And be like, I had to pound nails through his hand and cut off his fingers and use the blowtorch and cauterize the wounds. And
just ran with
you got to be a sick individual. You know what I mean? You got to be you just got to be a sick individual to tell that story with a straight face. Like, he's so proud of himself, you know? Fuck. Also, I touched on it earlier. I don't know if Justin got this. Somebody else found an article on him on Turtle Boy Sports, and it is crazy. If you don't know about, do you know about the guy from Turtle Boy, Bundy?
No.
I was never a huge fan of Turtle Boy Sports. Like, something happens, he'd write these crazy articles online. He wrote one about Tibbetts and ripped him apart.
Oh, really?
Crackhead and everything. Yeah.
Really?
I remember he wrote one about 5 years ago. Yeah, maybe it was a little longer. Probably 7 or 8 years ago at my house. My daughter was outside with her friends playing in the street. And there was these kids from the next street over, and there was a young kid, Javian. Javian was wild, and him and my daughter would always fight. Like, they weren't fans of each other. And they're little kids, right? And the kid was wild. He'd be on the bike with his brother, his older brother, and there was another kid. And one day he was out in front of my house, all the kids playing, and they were fighting, and he left at 5:15, and my daughter was going over her cousins for the weekend. And the reason I'm telling the story is because Turtle Boy wrote about this. So the kid left, and we leave, and there's all police cars on the next street, and they're blocking off the bottom of the street. And they cut through my backyard. They'd cut through there to go to the next street. But the kid had a bike and his friends, and they were always back and forth. And he left, and she saw the police cars, and she said, I bet Javian did something. And he was only 7. He was maybe younger, maybe 6, but he was wild, right? And I was like, no, whatever. So I brought her to her cousins. I don't know. I might have went somewhere for the night. I forget, but I come back in the morning, and now the street behind my house it's the street before my street. So it's like my backyard is that street. So now they got police cars still blocking off the street, but now there's a big news station van. I see Fox 25, Channel 5. And I was like, what the fuck? And my daughter said it right away. She goes, I bet Javian was messing with the dogs or something. Yeah, she said that. And I'm like, oh no, she said that after we found out. So I go, what's going on? And they said, a kid got killed by a pit bull. Yeah. I said, when? They said, last night around 5:30. And she said, I bet Javian was fucking messing with the dogs, right? And I'm like, no. So I call up this little cop, Billy Callahan. Billy Callahan's name comes up a lot. It's my guy, Billy Callahan. Yeah. I called him up. I said, Billy, the kid who got killed. He goes, yeah. I go, is his name Javian? And he goes, yeah, Javian Candelaria. And I was like, oh my God. And
poor kid.
Yeah, it was really, he said, the cops who responded, the paramedics, he goes, they're really fucked up over it. It was really bad. It was like decapitated, 2 dogs. Yeah. I don't go into details. It was really, really bad, So I remember we walked over there afterwards, and there's news cameras, and we went up, and there was like a little memorial in the yard, and there was still fucking blood there. It was bad, And I remember a news reporter come over, and he said, were you friends with him? And she said, we weren't friends, but we knew each other, And they're like, will you go on camera? And I could see the mother across the street on the thing. I'm like, nah, man, we don't want to go on the news and talk to anybody about this, and went on my way. And the guy from Turtle Boy Sports wrote like some scathing article about, saying the mother was smoking crack and like, whatever it was. Right. I remember at the time I read it and like, man, I don't give a fuck what that mother went through or what her life was. You know what I mean? What happened to that kid? It's like, I always think of that. And this guy from Turtle Boy Sports, he just was covering this Karen Reed. Is that it? Karen Reed murder trial out of Canton. It was a cop that got killed. And was it her boyfriend? It's like the OJ case around here. It's been going on for months. And
it's still going on.
Yeah, Tibbetts was really, really into that, speaking of that. And the Turtle Boy guy got indicted for like intimidating witnesses. He was out there like shouting at people and writing these articles about it. And yeah, that's that. But Turtle Boy wrote an article about this guy. And just like the detective said to me, he's been telling these lies so long, and they start out these articles with how he went to his nephew or suspect in Isabella Gardner Museum. Like it's actually become, you Google him, and it probably, if you Google these things, his name will probably come up because he's been telling the story for so much. And this article in Turtle Boy Sports says, rapper who stabbed Paul Pierce. That's how the article starts out. It's just like, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Do some homework.
Yeah. But he said someone broke in his house, stole his pit bull. The pit bull was thrown from a moving car on like 290 or one of those roads in Worcester and Shrewsbury. I don't think it was 290. I don't think it was a highway like that, but it was like a main road. The pit bull got thrown out of the car and hit by a truck and killed. And he went on Facebook, and I don't know if he was getting like a GoFundMe, and people like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. And like me, if I'm reading that article, I'm going to say, yeah, that's what I used to do. Break in houses and go in with like a sack, and try to fucking, you see pictures of the pit bull. Looks like it'll fucking gnaw your fucking thigh off. You know what I mean? Yeah, just go with me and Bundy would go in with a sack and let's go steal pit bulls today. No, I'd go to a house and knock on the door and I'd hear a fucking poodle bark and I'd be fucking heading to the fucking hot box in the driveway. Like I'm not going in a house with a dog. I'm not going in a house with a fucking poodle, never mind a pit bull. So it's a crazy story. And the guy from Turtle Boy basically picked him apart saying, this is so fucking, it's just so crazy. The story that
right.
Obviously it's a lie, and this kid Hicks was saying the police didn't investigate it because they had something else going on that day and it wasn't important to them. And, and he's talking shit about the fucking cops, this guy Hicks. And this guy, Turtle Boy, obviously saw right through the story finally. Like, people are so gullible, right? Yeah. Just like these people doing these interviews with him.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see if you got any teardrops. Yeah, I got fucking 30 of them. I killed 120 people. 150, my math's a little off. Yeah, so yeah, this guy, man, where does it end?
I think it's close to the end now because
I don't know.
His cover's been blown.
This is like a personal crusade now. You know what I mean? Like it has to stop. It has to stop. On behalf of anybody that's anybody in Boston, whether you're just someone who grew up in South Boston who's never been arrested in your life, just some asshole like this claiming your neighborhood, or if you're a fucking criminal who's ever actually done anything, respectable, not a piece of shit criminal, guys that are like, so-called throwback, old school guys, stand-up guys, whether you're an art thief or, a stick-up guy or, whether you got bodies or whatever, not that, there's, stuff like that, so there's always victims' families and stuff. So it's not like, oh, you killed someone, you got my respect, not like that. But guys that, got arrested or did serious things and stood up and did time and did it like a man and didn't tell. And for this guy to be claiming he's this and he's that when he's not, it's like, I'm the voice of the people on this one.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Yeah, and you are also.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, what the fuck, right? We had to with this guy. But I was almost a little hesitant, like Jake said. Jake's like 1090 Jake, who just recently surpassed 1 million followers on YouTube.
Really?
Dude, it's fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah. That's real good.
Fucking Jake, did a bid in Florida and come back. He's fucking in the fucking cushion house, fucking selling fucking vapes for fucking $3 on the corner and fucking rolling joints and fucking keeping them in his sock and fucking selling 3 for $5 and 6 for $10. Has somehow parlayed this stuff into a fucking career. God bless him. But what Jake said was, I'm hesitant to even do something on this guy because I have all these followers and it'll bring him more attention. Yeah. So it's like, I thought of it too. Like, do I just dead this? But I had to say my piece. And for all the people on the Tibbetts thing, you see articles with him where it says, growing up in South Boston, you're either a cop, a criminal, or a priest. And, he throws that around. And then the thing with Tibbetts and this other kid, Chris, let me get his name. Hold on a second. All right, what's this kid? Christopher? Yeah, Bartolo. Christopher Bartolo's Instagram. He's a cop in a local 327. God bless you. Let's see what we got. What the fuck? How come it says 0 views on this thing? All right. 2 comments, 7 likes. Come on, Christopher. We got to pump you up. We got to. It's unacceptable. That was a nice live. I don't know. Maybe the guy fucking complained that it's shadow banned or something. That's weird. That's only got that. So Chris Bartolo, why was I talking about him? Just thanks for getting that guy on there and doing that shit and
exposing him.
Yeah, Tibbetts. That was good. That was good that he got this guy. I think that's the last we see of this guy. I don't think he's going to be going on any lives anytime soon or doing anything. But for everybody who, whether you're, like I said, whether you're a fucking school teacher, fucking from South Boston who was scrolling through social media and started seeing this guy, and saying, who is this guy? I can't place him, and like he said to Tibbs, I never said I lived in South Boston. I said no, I didn't grow up there. I lived there. And he said, well, what street? And he couldn't even.
No.
At least say G Street, 5G Street. You know what 5G Street is, Bundy?
No.
That's the answer house.
Yeah.
Technically, I lived in South Boston.
Right.
Yeah.
So many streets.
I should have when I was at 5G Street. Any fucking respectable little guy would immediately go to the registry and get your license with 5G Street, South Boston.
All right.
And I could say I'm from South Boston.
Yeah.
But people would know I was fucking full of shit like this guy. So what good is it? He couldn't come up with 5G Street.
No. He's done. He's done.
Yeah, he's done. We gotta stop him in his tracks. Next week I got a couple guests coming on. I got my guy Frankie Firecrackers coming on.
Frankie.
Frankie Firecrackers? Bundy knows Frankie Firecrackers.
Marcus, right?
And Milkman, Sean Milliken. Is it Milliken? Yeah. I just know it was Boston Milk. They created that Boston brand, the hats and the shirts and everything. It was Milk. He's a Boston firefighter. on Hanover Street. He's in there. Shout out Hanover Street. Those are my guys over there. Fucking great crew over there. Buckley and those guys and Milkman. And Frankie Firecrackers, who owns Monica's Trattoria and Monica's Mercado, the sandwich shop. Monica's restaurant's on Prince, and the other one's on Salem. It's right on the corner, basically, right there near Bova's Bakery.
The food there is fucking crazy.
Oh, unbelievable. Best subs in Boston, and the restaurant, the chicken palm, it's in like a vodka. It's a marinara with cheese, but it's like a spicy vodka, the chicken palm.
So good.
It's not a vodka sauce, but I don't know what he does with it, but it's fucking unreal. Frankie's brother, Pat, who just called me recently, when we were on the way here, he called me from Nashville Street Jail. He was involved in a shooting on Hanover Street where he was shooting at a guy. Luckily, he missed the guy, and a couple of shots went through the window on at Mike's Pastry, actually. And unfortunately, he's in jail right now. But at least nobody got hurt in that. You know what I mean? It was a long-standing feud. And these are some real guys coming on. It's for people like this, right? That why I call out this guy. Yeah. It's for people like this, like real good guys. Like Frankie's a great guy. He ain't no fucking criminal. He's a fucking worker, right? But what a great guy. He helps out a lot of people in his community. There's not many people left in the North End from there. He's on Prince Street, close to where the Angelo's headquarters was, the doghouse, right? And here's a guy like a lot of people, like South Boston guys, like Charlestown guys, like East Boston guys, like the North End, watch their neighborhood properties skyrocket. And people selling and moving out, and they become what they call gentrified, Bundy, and you got all yuppies walking around with scooping up dog poop with their little thing. Frankie's got remember Frankie's little dog? It's one of those little hot dogs. My
what
daughter,
was that?
The little hot dogs, the long ones? My daughter wants one of them. I'm like, I want a pit bull. She wants a hot dog. So we gotta meet in the middle. we gotta meet in the middle. Yeah, boxer, right? We gotta meet in the middle. Yeah, where do you find them? We gotta meet in the middle somewhere. But yeah, next week, we're going to have Frankie Firecrackers. I gave him that nickname due to an incident in the North End where I ended up in the middle of. What a fucking nutty day that was during the feast, St. Anthony's feast. He was out there with a guy, Disco. Disco married one of Angelo's daughters. So these are old school guys from the neighborhood. There's none fucking left. So it's for these guys where me and Bundy come on here and take down fucking assholes who try to claim things they didn't do or neighborhoods that aren't theirs, Yeah. So next week, Milkman, Frankie Firecrackers, and it's a wrap. Anything you want to say, Bundy? Anything else?
No. Sounds good.
Bundy's been doing good. Someone come at me on Instagram about you, Bundy. I didn't tell you. Yeah. Drew Fugazi. But it's not like Fugazi, like fake. It's like Fugazi.
Right.
And he took issue with me.
Really?
Kind of making some jokes about your weight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I don't think I do. No. Do I sit there and clown you and call you? No. Because I always tell people,
the weight's coming off.
He's built like he's always built like a refrigerator. It's not like he's just this big guy just slamming cheeseburgers, like playing handball, baseball. He's always been athletic too. But someone took issue, said, you're always breaking his balls and you're fat too. Fucking Fugazi, man. Like, take it easy. We're friends. I go, listen, he fucking rags on me all the time, but you think I'm going to put that on social media? Absolutely not. It's like when you're gambling and you're winning money. That's all you put on there. When you're losing, you don't put it on. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Episode 14 in the books.
Nice.
15 is going to be a banger.
Yes, it is.
And maybe if we could somehow get this guy in here. Bundy.
Yeah, we definitely like to see him.
No, we could nail his hands to the table.
See how it feels.
Yeah, we could just cut off the pinky. Yeah. All right, and you can get the blowtorch.
Yep. We'll got everything.
Cauterize it.
Yeah. We can do it right on this wooden table.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. Yeah. This table sucks anyway. People fucking tell me, you got to fucking get rid of the shaking table. Justin, step this up.
It's a staple.
It is. It is a staple, this. All right, hold on a second. I got a question for the people out there. How old is too old to wear your hat back? Is there a number, Justin?
I think it looks good.
There's no number?
No.
I can wear the hat backwards?
That looks good.
Does it?
Yep.
Let's fucking go. 14 in the books.
It's like a bunch of narcotics. Pull up in a new Rari. Living like John got it. Chopping bricks like karate.